Hello students and welcome to class. I want to first introduce myself and then explain what we will be studying here in the Beginner's Animation course at Stop Motion University. My name is John Akuma and I am your instructor for this course. I am a professional animator who has worked for many studios and television networks. Two of these that you may probably know are Disney and Cartoon Network. I specialize in stop motion animation and computer animation and have over 20 years experience in the television and film industry, so I have a lot to teach and I hope you're ready to learn. The very first thing is, I want to show you the different types and styles of animation so we can get to playing with clay and various other materials and you have a better understanding of what needs to be done to make those specific styles of animation. Then we will go into the setups and standards of animation along with a quick explanation about frame rates, and then we dive deep into the animation process and have a lot of fun building projects here and there. So let's get started. First off, what is animation? Well, animation is the simulated movement of objects or pictures. Basically, it's making something that doesn't normally move and turning it into something that is moving. I know that's a weird explanation, but we can do this with all sorts of different techniques, and I'll explain those in a moment. But essentially, it's taking an inanimate object, something that doesn't normally move on its own, and then moving that object and recording those movements, and then playing that back, and the playback actually is a simulated movement of that object, or is a, breathing life into the inanimate. A person who makes animation is called an animator, and my favorite way to think about animators is that they are magicians or sorcerers who create life out of nothing. Now, they can create whole worlds filled with life and control fire, water, earth, and air and produce all sorts of wonderful creations, which is only limited by one's imagination. So it's probably the closest you'll get to being a wizard in the world of Harry Potter. Now, personally, I would love to be a wizard, so being an animator is pretty freaking awesome if I can actually, pretend for a moment that I'm in that world of Harry Potter and I'm making something magical. Now, the other great thing about animation is that there are many different styles and techniques which you can explore once you have the basic understandings of how everything works. For one thing, stop motion animation can literally use every single artistic style and medium and element created or known to man and turn it into animation. On the other side, CGI animation can simulate anything that human mind can think of, and 2D animation can copy life and movement to produce outstanding, beautiful animated worlds, both simulated and abstract. Now, there really is no limit to the amount of artwork and ideas one can pursue in animation. Now, let's look at those three main styles of animation. 2D animation is known by many different subcategories such as hand-drawn animation, flash animation, cell animation, and even can be simulated in 3D computer animation. The very first animations were produced using pencil, ink, paper, paint, and clear plastic sheets. This would eventually evolve into the use of computers to both save money in production, but also offer the artist more advanced techniques and methods. Computer animation, which is also known as CGI, is solely done in the computer. Special software is used to create objects and environments and produce what is called a scene. In these scenes, the animation is made and then the final stage of rendering occurs. This is where the animation gets drawn by the computer and turned into a series of images, which then get turned into a video. Now, stop motion animation, which we will study here, is one of the oldest animation techniques used in the world, and many famous animators or inventors, directors, and artists use this technique at some point in their life. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, used it in a couple of his films, and Jim Henson, the creator of the Muppets, also did a little stop motion animation when he was in college. Stop motion is a photographic technique where a real-world object is placed in front of a camera, and then with each photograph, the object is moved a little bit. This is repeated over and over again until the desired movement is achieved and the animation is produced. Now, stop motion animation also has a lot of different styles, and the most famous one is often referred to as claymation, but in reality, the true name of this style is clay animation. The difference is that claymation is a trademarked and copywritten term created by Will Venton to describe his company's animation product technique. Basically, he had a technique that was just animating clay, and he wanted to sell it as his own thing, and so he named it, claymation. Why not? Sounds cool. But eventually it evolved into a household name when his studio became famous for the California Raisins and the Domino's Pizza Noid animations back in the 1980s. So technically, if your animations are made out of clay, they would be clay animations and not claymations, unless you work for Will Venton and then you're making claymations. Anyway, some of the other stop motion animation styles you should know, and which we will explore, are pixelation, which is the animation of humans; found object animation, which is the animation of everyday objects; toy animation, where you animate anything from Legos to action figures; sand animation; and finally, puppet animation. Each one of these styles is a form of stop motion animation, and we will explore each of these and have a lot of fun along the way throughout the course. Now, the next section we will explore is the basic setups necessary for doing stop motion animation. I hope you gained a little bit of knowledge about the subject matter here and that we will cover in the upcoming classes. But basically, I look forward to interacting with you in the classes, and I can't wait to see all the awesome animations you are going to produce because I know you're going to produce some amazing stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.